Santa Claus music. As we come down here, we have a tailpipe that's hooked on with flex hose that goes all the way to the back of the sleigh where we have smoke coming out of the chimney.
This is Duncan McPherson. He's a carpentry instructor at Aurora College. For the past 10 years, he's been cruising the streets of Fort Smith in this one-man Santa Claus parade.
The buffaloes, that's like a Fort Smith mascot. It represents half buffalo, half moose.
Each part of the float has been either donated or homemade.
We're trying to make this look like a fire. Basically, it's just a light bulb with a rotating cylinder around it.
It's been an ongoing project of trial and error.
We tried using a real tree, but it was way too shaky. So we just made up a tripod, and we wrapped the lights around it. And this way, when we take it apart next year, we can just set it in place.
It was a much less elegant display in the early days. 10 years ago, the family station wagon was the display.
At that time, too, nobody knew exactly who this Santa was.
But 10 years later, it's the same Santa in the same suit. With a pull of the cord, Santa's ready to hit the road. Duncan's wife, Carol, is in the driver's seat.
Hey, Merry Christmas! Ho, ho, ho! It's so nice to see you again!
2 or 3 times a week, in December, the McPhersons drive around the streets of Fort Smith. The week before Christmas, they're out every night.
I happen to like the Santa idea, okay? I do like the Santa idea. And with the enthusiasm of the community, it makes my idea a reality. And it represents happiness and all that seems to be good. And at Christmas time, everybody seems to put the differences aside. And when you can be sort of a part of that, to enchant this fantasy of happiness and forget the problems for a few weeks, I think it's important. You know, I really do think it's important. I take it very serious. I do. Sometimes people who play Santa think that have a few drinks or it's all fun and games. It's not fun and games. It's serious fun because you're representing what the children believe in and love. And because of that, the adults feel so much more comfort in knowing that, you know, they're going to find out sooner or later, but for the time being, let them live their little dream, eh? And I think a lot of adults, and myself included, may push the clock back by 40 years and think when they were children, you know. It's very serious fun, and I love it.
Santa also has to be handy. You can't rely on the elves when breakdowns occur.
One of the biggest problems is that some new ideas we are trying to incorporate, putting smoke out the chimney out of the exhaust pipe, using a hose that melts. You know, it doesn't really work that well. But we're refining that a little bit. A few times we had a flat tire. You know, basically we're wood and wire, eh? That's what we're dealing with here, eh? And it seems to be working.
Duncan says that although it's only wood and wire, the effect that it has on people is what makes it worthwhile for him to keep going.
Like any town, you know, there's a certain amount of poverty. And when you see children peeking out at the window, knowing that they have nothing or will have nothing, you put a spark of hope. And You know, I don't care how old you are, that can make a person cry. And it's all about the heart. I mean, it's all about the heart. I mean, you wouldn't do this for money or pay. You do it from the heart. You know, I have to say, if nobody came to the windows, you know, I would find it very difficult to drive on that sleigh, you know, because that's where I get my energy.
I'm Dave Kellett in Fort Smith, wishing you a Merry Christmas.